favorite heroes.
Okay, so either way.
But I would choose to ban Slada and Earth Spirit. I'll
Yeah.
just give them Lone Druid.
Yeah,
That's
just
what I
give
would.
him Lone Druid after that game. The rolling boulder kick, that was too much. That was some Chuck Norris stuff. I can't.
You
It's
see his
too
reaction?
much.
As soon as they ban the Disruptor, he's like raising his eyebrow and he gets a little smile on. He's like, we're not picking that hero.
Oh, the mind games. IG Vitality, I mean, this is a rough time. You gotta remember that if they lose this next game, they're out.
They will be the first ones
And the
eliminated.
first team to be eliminated. So they want to force this to a game 3. And they know that they are going up against Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit, especially by Tim's, very strong, creating chaos everywhere. How do you deal with an Earth Spirit in general if you know exactly what you're gonna
It's a support
get?
hero. You don't kind of deal with it. Like the
I
hero
was
is
going to
just-
say Juggernaut. That's
I
like
mean,
one of the
but
very good
he's
responses.
too
though.
all-rounded though. The hero
Yeah.
is too all-rounded. He does too many things in the game.
Juggernaut versus the Darkseer and the Earth Spirit would have been very good. And the Healing Ward's very good versus Magnetize in later stages, but yeah, TnC does ban it out. And IG bans out the Ember Spirit heroes that can be really enabled by the Ion Shell.
And the other thing about
just
those two
rotations.
heroes is the lane though. Those two heroes does well against the Darkseer lane.
Yeah.
The Lifestealer and the Jug. A lot of sustain. Like we said, TnC is gonna focus on winning the lanes, and they're gonna give you a hard time in the lane. So they're removing the cores that do well in the lane. They're picking more lane dominant heroes. Like Warlock's really good in babysitting in the lane if it's a lone offlaner, but not very good against the door lane.
Yeah, Weaver is okay versus like Darkseer, obviously not
Yeah.
melee hero, but you do suffer a lot versus Earth Spirits.
You have to
And you
you
show
have
it
to build
very early.
Manta, right? You don't wanna. Do you go for the Manta or you just get a BKB?
I think you have to go BKB. I mean, you're not first item, obviously, but like, it definitely puts you on a bit of a weird
or you
foot when
pick
you
Omni
reveal it
Knight.
that early.
That's what Jake was saying.
Yeah, boy.
Pick Omni Knight.
But then we have the Omni Warlock supports versus Darkseer Earth Spirit dual lane. That sounds pretty hard.
Jake likes the Omni Centaur though. The
Yeah,
dual lane.
hell yeah, man.
Omni
Oh, you
Cent-
like, okay.
Repel's a great answer for Earth Spirit, you know? As long as you get it off before that silence comes out. So.
Could TnC go for an aggressive tri-lane again, though? Because if you're going to have a Warlock and an Omni-Knight support, an
really
aggressive,
depends.
aggressive
though.
tri-lane is going to be a tough one.
Really depends. It's all really rather open right now for them.
Wow.
They could do 2-1-2 lanes. Dazzle +1, Doxia, Earth Spirit. Because if you think about resource management, if you're using 2 heroes to deal with 3 heroes, and you're still farming, that's great for you.
Yeah.
If you don't have to use 3 to beat the other 3, you can use the other 1 support to win the other 2 lanes.
10 seconds remaining.
Because in Dota, there's 3 lanes. Usually, the players or the teams would
5
plan to
seconds remaining.
win 2 lanes. That's like the basic necessity.
Ooh,
Whoa,
Apuka.
Pudge.
TnC's
That's a
turn to pick.
quite of a change up.
Why Pudge here? Just a good hero, I guess. Doesn't really counter anything. What is the synergy? There's no synergy with their heroes. There's no
10
stun.
seconds
There's no
remaining.
easy setup without dagger.
Yeah.
The
It's-
upheaval maxed out is a nice setup for the Pudge hook.
5 seconds
There you go.
That's not good enough.
I'm trying to find a
this
silver
Pudge-
lining here with
He
it.
has built-in magic resistances to deal with the Darkseer.
Yeah,
Oh
there
my
you
God,
go.
This Pudge
Gonna
is
go
right.
pipe?
This Pudge is right now. Exclamation mark, question mark. It's very interesting. Unsure. I don't know what's this Pudge here doing here. Maybe we could understand more with the last pick.
Yeah, I'm sure they got something up their sleeve. They're not just picking random heroes.
But it's rather strange.
Yes.
'Cause they have no setup for the hook.
Are you surprised that yesterday's like big display by Wings isn't like impacting these drafts at all? Like the Panda and the air.
Because Dota right now, every team, like I said before, every team prioritizes different heroes. Like every team rates the hero differently.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to, maybe for certain heroes like Lone Druid, everyone like, whatever, we don't want to deal with Lone Druid.
Radiant
They
team.
can further select themselves this
Yeah,
time.
just a core that uses the Iron Shell,
Yep.
and you run around. Yeah, you can easily pressure, like Warlock and Pudge are not good supports to deal with a Slug. Slug is going to run rampant if he gets a good start. What are they going to pick to deal with a Slug? Gosh.
Yeah, it has to be. And it's a mid hero too.
It's a
like,
mid-hero that
what-
can deal
there's-
with-
That's not. You can't. There's nothing that deals with Slug as a mid hero. With Timber.
Yeah.
But then they're versus Earth Spirit Darkseer as a Timber already.
Jeez, what are they
A
going to
Dragon
do?
Knight?
Juggernaut is not good against Slug.
And then he has so many he has like 3 heroes that he can just gain essence shift charges off in the fights. There.
Man, maybe Puck? I don't know. They need like a lockdown hero. I'm
That's
not sure.
depressing me. I mean,
Puck,
come on.
Puck, no, Puck sounds
hey,
okay.
Hey.
It's very all in on a Weaver though.
Yeah, then your
It's
Weaver.
completely
is your
all in
only-
on a Weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. No. It's good versus Dazzle Earth Spirit.
I don't
and
know, OD,
Darkseer,
yeah.
but
OD, there's no good picks here for them. I'm not sure. They need a plan with this Pudge. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing. This slug is gonna.
I'm thinking something that can set up for it in the mid lane, right? It has to be like OD or something like that to be able to just abuse the pudge.
Have you tried
but
OD and Pudge?
it's just not
It's difficult.
easy,
It's
yeah.
difficult. It's not that straightforward.
Hmm.
Gosh, this is tough.
All right, well, another ban coming out here. Any hero that specifically destroys IG's lineup besides Slark, as we've already talked about?
I think
Yeah.
they have a lot of solutions already.
They
Yeah.
are rightfully screwed right now if you're IGV. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, it can't be
They don't
that
even.
bad.
The thing is that they picked Warlock in the first two as well, and then they picked Weaver and Pudge, which
Yeah,
aren't
they-
really like AOE to like enable the
There
fatal
is
bonds.
too many
It's very
loopholes in their lineup right
Yeah.
now against what TnC has.
The
TnC
upside-
has a huge advantage.
The upside for IG Vitality, though, is they have
Very good team
last
fight.
pick.
True.
Right,
But-
so,
But
so
But
they
I don't
counter.
know. I don't know what last pick could they go for right now. They are already in a lot of trouble. They need to come up with a super good last pick. But one thing they do have with their lineup is they have very good 5v5, very strong in team fights.
Okay.
But so does TnC.
Yeah, TnC has great team fights too. I mean, they got Vac
I mean,
Wall
I
into
think
an Earth
Warlock
Spirit.
is Warlock's stronger.
Yeah.
Warlock's stronger
course.
in the early stage. The Golem plus Fatal Bonds and the bugs on you, that's pretty strong.
Definitely annoying.
But how are they gonna get through the laning phase? That's another question.
Yeah.
The last game they had much stronger laning supports, Rubik Chen. This game, I mean, Pudge is kind of strong in the right situation. I just kind of feel like this game, I don't feel the Pudge could do a lot in the lane. But we'll have to see what is their last pick. And for TnC right now, they're looking for their mid hero, possibly another hero that can use the Iron Shell.
They could go Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight seems good.
They don't have building hitter. It
That's
works
true.
really well with
Dragon Knight's
Darkseer,
good.
Mech Builder.
Dragon Knight's really
Darkseer,
good.
Mech Builder lets them have that. Dazzle as well to enable it too. Gives them lockdown, which they're kind of lacking right now. It's just the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, that's a very good pick here for them. I know this team likes to pick Dragon Knight too.
Right. Last pick coming out. Will it be the Dragon Knight that we've all been talking about? Or will it be something out of left
That
field?
could still
huh?
go back for the team. Never mind. I think Dragon Knight's just more
Okay.
solid. Yeah, it's more solid all in all.
Thinker.
Oh, this is
Thank
this
you,
is
Winky.
actually even. Is this even better than the Dragon Knight? It doesn't. He doesn't use the Iron Shell, but he provides more late game, and it gives them a lot more split push. So right now, Darkseer, Slug, and Tinker, they have 3 heroes that pushes waves really quickly. And if you're IG Vitality, you want to group up and fight. Does this put their draft together?
That's a hard matchup. Invoker versus Tinker with an
Yeah.
Earth Spirit running around.
Oh, no.
That's a very tough. That's very tough for Invoker.
it's very hard. This
But it
game
gives
is
them
very hard.
team fight, right? They,
Yeah, it
they
gives-
wanted something to
Sure.
work with the Fatal Bonds even more, but I'm really liking TNCs. I think they have comfort heroes.
How can you not like TnC?
Yeah, I mean, they've got their Spirit, Tim's. Yeah.
We already had a Tim show previous game. Might have another Tim show this game. Jake?
You know, IG's going to pull this one through.
I'm,
you look very
I'm
sure
not
of
even
yourself.
convinced with this guy here.
It's a next level draft coming out from here, Sheaves.
Well,
No worries.
let's hear if our commentators feel the same way, or if they will side with our analysts. It is over to Odie Pixel and Gods.
Thank you very much, Shiva and D-Gods. Not a lot of hopeful words, really, for IGV from the analysts. Do you agree, or do you think there's a little bit of a hope for what they're bringing into the fray here with this kind of Pudge Invoker finish up?
See what they can do with the Invoker. Sakata plays a pretty sick Invoker, but this is going to be a tough lane for him. I don't fancy his chances against the Tim's roaming Earth Spirit. I feel like all the lanes are quite problematic. The Darkseer Spirit can apply a lot of pressure. If they can survive the lanes, then IGV, they could maybe do okay, but laning stage looks very rough for them. Warlock isn't going to be able to really do a whole lot in the lanes, and yeah, I feel all in all, IGV, their early game is very weak.
And we'll see how it goes down as we get ourselves stuck in here to Game 2, of course, IGV versus TnC. TnC, that one game away from being able to move on and, of course, face up against a Secret later today. The winner of this series will be playing against. So, also interesting as well, Slark once again, this time, of course, on the side of TnC. Do you feel it is just such a better Slark game for Raven than it was for Paparazzi in Game 1's draft?
There's no Timbersaw to deal with. It feels like it suits their their overall strategy better. Like, they want to have good split pushing heroes. They want to be able to win the lanes and then have a hero that uses the Iron Shell well. Whereas last game, the Slark came in a draft with a Chen strat, where it felt like it was like this 5-man push draft with without a whole lot of reason to pick a Slark into it. So it makes a lot more sense this time around that we see Slark to me, even not so much that it necessarily counters IGV's draft, just that it fits TnC's.
Of course, Tim's, a lot of eyes will be on him again this game to see what he can pull off. A very spectacular showing in game 1. And as you in the panel have been saying, mid lane could be where it gets a little messy for Cicada.
Will be the eggs on Invoker, it looks like, has at least for now got Sunstrike, which means even tougher to verse Nurse Spirit. Not to say I think he should have gone Quaswex, it's just I think the nature of the draft is they need some more damage output. A good Sunstrike to go with a Pudge or a Centaur is definitely a good approach to this game, but it just means his laning stage will be very tricky.
On the side lanes, we are going to see no kind of aggressive situation from TnC like we saw in game 1. Down bottom, they are keeping Raven on the top lane. And lane-wise, you know, they're sending... It's kind of dual lane. It was a moment where Tim's rotating between bottom and middle. At the moment, he's just... It's like he tried to stack the camp there, but a little bit off with the timing.
Yeah, missed the timing. Perhaps was hoping for a troll or some range creep so he could do the little side pull there.
Top lane, actually, TnC forcing the Centaur to use the TP to go back to the shrine. As they make another go on him. Tim's is actually going to head down bottom now. I mean, between the two of them, Spirit and Darcy can certainly get a bit of work done on this bottom lane if they catch anyone out of position.
Yeah, Paparazzi already chewing through a decent amount of his regen. He is CSing just fine, but has taken damage, is eating up his Tengos, so not an easy lane by any means. I think Timbers has decided after missing that pull to spend some time down bottom. I like pairing him up with the Darkseer for now because a TP pickup can always pose a threat on the side lanes. You TP in with an Iron Shell, you have a lot of kill potential.
I mean, we're sitting here now. Tim's giving dogfights a little bit of a rundown. Doesn't want to stick around too much, of course. Always turn around with the rot and a few punches at this stage. He's actually going to go back in. He's able to... Actually doesn't grab the bounty ring. Dogfight's still able to take it, but maybe able to get the kill. Can Dogfight's deny himself with the Iron Shell still on Tim's? It is going to be hard, but Dogfight's... He's got those brown boots, so just a little too speedy, and will get himself away from the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, so he's home free. Spirit not getting the bounty rune. That would have been his level 2, so these bounty runes early on can make a big difference for these 4-position supports who often get less experience than the 5-position supports in the laning stage at least because they are spending so much time trying to roam around, get scouting information, try and go for these little ganks.
He's so close to level 2. Tim's, he needs just about one creep, and then he'll be able to pull off a combo in the mid lane. And talking about the mid lane, pretty much as expected, I guess. But I mean, I say expected, but this is absolute dominance. So 12, 13, 11 on the Tinker, 4 for 2 on the Invoker, and there's Tim's coming in and coming across, and they're going to take their kill as well. Cuckoo picking up first blood. I mean, this mid lane is an absolute disaster for IGV at the moment.
Yeah, that CS, now the kill. It's a first blood of all things. Tinker getting the first blood. Disaster is a very accurate way to describe it. And likely only to get worse. That was the level 1 Earth Spirit. Now he's going to have a Boulder Smash to come ganking with as well. Did have a DD rune, which is perhaps what the Invoker was not expecting with that roll-in. Without the DD rune, it may not have been a kill, but even so, this mid lane needs to be addressed. Dogfights is lurking around on the Pudge here, but even with a Pudge, I'm not sure they can get a whole lot done. Tinker's saved up his skill point, so could go into a quick heat-seeking missile.
Bottom lane, Tim's. Did roll in there, trying to zone Paparazzi back. Yes, it's a lot of weight really on Dogfights to try and rectify this mid lane, try and set something up for the Invoker.
He's been spotted, though. Walked through the dire vision at mid lane, so Cuckoo knows exactly where he is. Looks like he's just hoping for a rune with that roam towards top, but the rune will spawn at bottom.
Tim's grabs the bouncy, and he will be able to grab the rune as well. Down at the bottom, Dogfights did try for a hook in mid, but just a little bit off the mark.
Leaves it for Cuckoo, too. Having a haste rune means if you do get hooked, you're not going to get killed off by the rot. Cold Snap type duo. You can always haste yourself out of that rot, so nice little rune to have for defensive and aggressive purposes as a Tinker.
Cicada's able to get a little bit more CS in that mid lane, but still very much behind that of Cuckoo on the Tinker. Top lane Raven's having to be very very careful now with Dogfights rotating up it. He's just hiding in the trees. Still, of course, before that safety point when he gets that 6 online. Just 5 1/4 at the moment.
Yeah, this lane's gone very well for IGV with the Warlock up here as well. The Centaur's out CSing the Slark, but definitely a hero you're not worried about getting a huge amount of farm. You're happy as long as he's getting his levels.
Oh, bottom lane, of course. Tim's beautiful execution here. Not quite enough to kill Paparazzi,
Very close.
but indeed the silence and the stun on point. Just a little bit lacking on the damage.
And one right click or even a tiny bit of Iron Tail damage more. A quarter of a second more of Iron Tail
Raven,
damage.
Fair
Alright.
bonds is enough. They get the kill, and it's a big one. You said it earlier that IGV indeed have been able to put a fair bit of pressure onto the safe lane of TnC, and getting the kill there eventually.
Nice little pickup. Will perhaps force some more support attention up top. If you can bring Tims up top, that's a win in itself, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case just yet.
Tim is staying down bottom at the moment.
They've even done good damage to this bottom tier 1 tower with the Darkseid constantly pressuring it out, so a lane that I imagine IGV thought would go a little bit better for them.
Still in that middle, Cuckoo. A lot of denies, 26 for 23.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the level difference actually at the moment between the Tinker and the Evoker? Well, 6.5 on Tinker, 5.25.
5.25,
So
yeah.
yeah, over a level difference between the two at the moment.
Yep. And Tinker can power farm the jungle soon if he wants. He's saved 3 skill points, which is either if a kill opportunity with the missiles presents itself, he'll go for it. Otherwise, he goes for the farm with March.
Top lane, Dogfights did get a hook, but the quick turnaround for TnC as Tim's TP's across. There will be a Sunstrike, not quite enough to kill Raven, but it will allow him to bring down Tim's on the Earth Spirit. So there's a 1-for-1 trade up at top. And
Pretty even
TnC
trade.
do keep the Slark alive.
Perhaps slightly IG favored trade since Centaur gets the solo kill in return, gets him almost up to level 6 and gets him 900 gold. So Slark getting a kill is nice and all, but I think the Centaur gets a bit more out of that.
Do you think Injuly will...
Oh, hook mid.
Oh, Dogfight setting up onto Cuckoo. Cicada surviving Cuckoo. As the rocket, not quite enough damage to take down Invoker and IGV.
Oh, that infused raindrop pickup. Nice little selection from Cicada. Saves his life there, actually.
A massive, massive kill for them in that mid lane.
That
where
was I think Tinker, he didn't
it
see
looked
the
like he
raindrops.
must have been coming in aggressive, yeah.
And well, he got hooked around the creep wave there, and he kind of panicked as he's dying, like, oh, got to get the missiles, go for the kill.
Oh, Dogfight. He
Alright.
is doing it. He's pulling out the plays this game on the Pudge. Getting those crucial kills for IGV in a laning stage where, especially that mid lane, that Invoker was falling behind, but a few kills like that, and suddenly the gap begins to close between himself and Cuckoo. Bottom lane, though, Tims. And with the combo, do they have the damage? Yes, they do. Only just. But they do get Paparazzi.
Yeah, the Weaver's not having the best time now, despite all the CS he's managed to pick up. There has been constant pressure down bottom. Just chew through a lot of HP regen and will lose his tower fairly soon. There's a much needed team gold. Cuckoo, despite the great start he had, isn't going to power farm towards that travels as fast as he'd like because he did commit to the 2 points in the missile. So he only has 1 March of the machines at level 7. In hindsight, he'd much rather have not got those points in the missiles and gone for the triple March for the farming capabilities, but he thought he might be able to get a kill on the Invoker. It just didn't pan out for him.
Top lane. Hunting for Raven. Ooh, Dogfights off the mark with a hook. But it does allow IGV to get the space to finish off this tower. And in July, looks like he's saving straight up for the Blink Dagger. And I kind of like that as well, you know, because they do have this Exhort Invoker. Getting a setup Who Stomp, at this stage of the game, it could guarantee you a kill pretty easily.
And if Invoker's getting those kills, that's some good catch-up farm for him. Speaking of which, he's actually almost got a Midas all of a sudden. With those rotations mid, this Invoker is not as poor as he once was. He's 2-1-1. He's been active in terms of just offering those Sunstrikes to those side lanes, and having a Midas at 9 minutes is that's a good timing for an Invoker. So the beatdown from Cuckoo has been negated thanks to this Dogfights Pudge.
Yeah, a lot of this game in this stage down to the the kind of the rotations of these supports, the Earth Spirit and the Pudge. He was able to pull out the most, and we've obviously seen Tim's able to set up onto the Weaver bottom. Indeed, as you mentioned, just Dogfights getting those crucial kills in the lanes where the cause needed it on RGV. And July just 100 gold away from that Blink Dagger.
Tim's is level 6, so could be looking for that way to use the Magnetize, but also level 6 on Super's Warlock, so the first couple team fights coming in could be IG favored with a Centaur Blink and a Chaotic offering. There is some serious team fight wombo combo potential. Not a good setup for the Invoker to play around.
Dog fights as well, just looking to try and get that final bit of XP to pick himself up that 6 in the mid lane. Boots of travel is complete though on Cuckoo, so we can expect to see his farm and control of the map start to skyrocket unless IGV are able to hunt him down, and they do have the tools to do that.
Still very undesirable skill build for him with the 4 in laser and 1 in march.
Bottom lane, they try and make it go on to Paparazzi.
Yeah.
Again, at this stage, it's just not quite enough control just between the two of them to take him down before he gets a chance to time lapse. Mid lane, though, look at this wraparound from IGV. They're coming around from behind the tower. Dogfights in July. Can they find a setup? The hook's going to miss. They've got the Stampede trying to close in onto Cuckoo. Samh will TP in, though, to the tower. And he wants to try and fight, but Super drops the Golem. They'll take the Dazzle kill. And IGV, with the Golem out, they should be able to push onto the tower. Dogfights, after quite a nice start, he's starting to miss a fair few of these hooks, though, unfortunately, for the side. But IGV should be able to secure this tower. Yep. And in fact, well, with the blink, Hoostomp and the Sunstrike, they'll get a kill as well. TnC had to be careful how close they get. There's the hook. Dogfights will catch something this time. Rio surrounded, taken down, and IGV pretty much finding 3 kills in quick succession. A tower as well, and the momentum's starting to really go the way of the Chinese.
Yeah, it's very ineffective boots of travel timing for Tinker because of his skill build again. Like 2 in heat-seeking missiles. Normally, when you get your travels, you either want to have max march or max missiles, ideally both. He has max laser. This is not a useful thing to defend towers with. You defend towers by spamming missiles at heroes or by spamming march to the machines, and this 4 in laser is very ineffective. So he gets the boots of travel, then he has to get the point in rearm. He only now gets that 2nd point in the march, and it's going to be some time before we really see this Tinker able to TP around and offer tower defense or at least teamfight presence. So he has some single target ganking potential, but Slark's looking to farm, still doesn't have a Shadow Blade. This early game has really fallen apart.
Oh, if they find Raven here, they're coming in for the smoke. There's the Hoostomp. Do they have the control? Oh, not quite. Darpat was off in time. As Raven jumps out, pops the Shadow Dance to keep himself safe. Bottom lane, again, trying to make a go here on the Invoker, and they get him. Cicada.
Nice kill for TnC. This Darkseer Earth Spirit are going to have to be the duo that defends towers, wins them team fights, because everything else seems to have fallen apart elsewhere. The Slark not getting the farm he'd hoped for. The Tinker struggling to find his levels and farm. Less so the farm, but definitely the levels being a big key issue for him.
Dogfights, he's looking for that hook. Will he find it? How patient is he going to be? He's sticking around. Raven comes out. Can they get a catch? They've got 3 members up here. In July could find a Hoostomp, and indeed he does. Straight on to Rio. Sunstrike there. Unnecessary because the damage already out from IGV. Between the two of them, the Pudge and the Centaur. They get a kill, and they just put the Stampede, keeping it safe to get themselves back out, making sure the TnC don't have a chance to fight back.
Free Dazzle kill. Raven will find the other ward. Like, this is the one beauty of the Slark, is that these aggressive wards gets very quickly dealt with. So he de-warded one already. He finds the 2nd one with a couple of pings. He's telling his team, all right, we found one, but there's a 2nd. Let's make sure we take that out as well. And the pressure at top lane will continue for IGV, but it gets very hard to stay up here this aggressive on the map when you don't have those wards to play around, because the rotations coming in can really punish you if you're not careful at that point.
In July, that Ring of Regen almost certainly going to be just working towards that hood in the pipe. And I mean, in a game like this, pipe's going to be absolutely massive for the team. You know, just putting kind of an end to what the Earth Spirit and the Darkseer can do with their combo in terms of damage. Dog fights again. Can't quite find the hook.
Sidesteps it. One ward still remaining in this middle lane, which is a very useful ward to have at this point for IGV. Something Slark may not scout out right away. He TP's bottom to try and farm the enemy jungle, so it won't have that little radar detector with them for some time. But once he gets his Shadow Blade, we may be looking at Raven starting to get a bit more involved.
Paparazzi this game. Well, we've going for more of a standard build as opposed to what we saw from Raven. Just going straight for the Lincoln Sphere this game.
Not sold on the Lincolns. Don't think it's very good this game. Useless against Earth Spirit. His silent stun combo will hit you regardless. And what's it blocking? Like a Tinker laser.
Pretty much laser.
Yeah, that is not.
Oh, dog fight. He fishes and he catches a big one. Getting the tinker like that.
This Pudge has been very impressive. I think there were some question marks from the panel when we saw the Pudge pick about what's it going to do. And while it's just apparently one of Dogfight's best heroes, he has played incredibly well, finding numerous setups and kills for his team after a rough start to the lanes and has salvaged this early game.
I mean, for sure, just look at the position of the Invoker. He's now a clear 1k ahead of the Tinker. And that laning stage at the start, it certainly was an incredibly different story. But IGV here in Game 2 looking much stronger than they did in Game 1. A similar sort of timing, this 15-minute mark.
Their team fight's just the superior of the two teams. Later on, perhaps, like once TnC get a few more items, they tank up. I mean, they've got a mech for now. They perhaps can match a bit better, but the Rock is just like the king of all team fights right now. A vacuum into Earth Spirit spells is really the only way to try and engage into the group up from IGV, but Warlock is positioned behind.
Raven.
Oh, they find Warlock.
Yeah, he's looking for the Warlock. Goes in with the Shadow Blade, starts to make it go on. Super tries for the TP out. Isn't going to be enough.
Yeah. If you can find the Warlock at the start of the fight with the Slark, that's how you approach these fights, and that's how TnC going to be able to take on the IGV squad. Cuckoo's been caught out in mid.
Yeah, Paparazzi playing around with Cuckoo. Does he have the damage? He has been lasered. The bug chomping down onto him, but they have the grave. Cuckoo will be protected for the time being by Rio. And will get himself Sunstrike. Is he going to hit? Is he going to hit? Ooh, no. Tries for a blind one. But Cuckoo's already out there with the TP. Dogfight's getting a bit of space up top. It's just going to be building into that Hood himself. There's also Hood finish now for Centaur.
Definitely a good game for Hoods. Even if you're not upgrading it to the pipe for your team, which it looks like Centaur will be doing. The Pudge probably won't. Hoods will offer a lot against this Darkseer Earth Spirit. Even the Slark is predominantly magic damage for at least the early to mid-game stages until much later on. You're looking at magic damage from the Pounce and the Dark Pact.
What's the plan really for TnC? I mean, we obviously saw this Shadow Blade picked up on Raven. Does he need to fish for kills, or should he sit back and look to pick up his next item before trying to team fight?
They're going to play split push, like a split push game where they're just farming multiple lanes at once, keeping them pushed out. And the result of playing that split push style is that your enemies get split up, so you can find pickoffs because of that. So it's going to be, if kills present themselves, you go for it.
Look at Raven, yeah, he's
going to find Super again. Maybe asking for some Tinker support here.
Yeah, Tim's rolling in, looking for Super, but Super actually drops the Golem immediately, making sure that he gets it out, and Super survives. He's fine. Vacuum Wall comes through, but the hook from Dogfights, bringing in the Earth Spirit, allows them to get one, maybe even more, as the Stampede from Injuly looking to try and catch out more. With the TP out from Cuckoo. As the TnC get away, but very, very, very quick reaction from Super, just dropping the Golem. Just no chill, not going to wait around and allow that Slark to kill him before he does anything.
Perhaps a rare, slow stun or silence coming up from the Earth Spirit. Normally you see those geomagnetic grips mid-roll from a player like Tim, so one of those few occasions where he doesn't get the stun or silence off before the spells come out and does allow for that turnaround play to happen. Does still put the Rock on cooldown, so something that TnC likely wanting to play around. They are not as ulti and cooldown dependent as their opponents here. Magnetize, on cooldown, but not necessarily a must-have for a team fight, whereas the Chaotic offering is the much more important of those ultimates.
Lincoln's nearly finished on Paparazzi. And I guess as we were saying, you know, the laser, I mean, I guess it allows Paparazzi to have the chance of solo killing Cuckoo if he gets caught out. You know, if he didn't have that Lincoln's, it's unlikely that he's going to get enough Shikuchis out before Tinker TP's away.
Yeah, it's not in that way. It's much more an offensive item than a defensive Lincoln's pickup. So he can go on the Tinker, not worry about the laser, use it to just go aggro in these fights, but will not help him defensively against what's really going to kill him, which is the Darkseer Earth Spirit duo, and even potentially like a Pounce latch on. So we'll see how it works out for him. I imagine the Lincolns also suggest something like bigger, like either Deso or Maelstrom after this. You don't normally go back for like another defensive item, but Cuckoo will quickly scout out that Lincolns and probably sound the alarm, like, okay, be ready for this, guys.
Raven Can he do anything here? He pops the Shadow Blade in July. Not really an ideal target, but he puts one punch in and then yeah, immediately backs off. There's nothing really that Raven can do about that center at this stage of the game with just a Shadow Blade and an Oblivion Staff.
Tims did get caught by a hook, and with Earthspirit dead, Paparazzi's making the call towards Roshan. It looks like with a Swarm, he may go for this. No, he's just going to come back out. D-Ward first.
They do just have the Blink Dagger picked up on the Darks here, so they can pull off a good combo, but they do need Tims alive.
Has respawned at a decent rate here, so should be able to come back in. They really need another pick off outside of that one.
Paparazzi looking towards Raven. Raven pounces away. Paparazzi looking to try and chase. Heads towards Cuckoo, but Cuckoo's already out and gone. At the least, good news for TnC that IGV didn't really find the opening to do too much about the Roche. Roshan's still standing.
Yeah, losing in ages at this point would be very problematic. Cicada finds Tinker top.
Cuckoo, can he play his way out of this one with the cold snap of the Who Stab coming through? He cannot. Deafening Blast the backside. Cicada picks up the kill, catching the Tinker.
Okay. Nice little find for him, and that's the general idea, is to try and stop this split push as much as possible. This is definitely a game where IGV will be hunting heroes like Tinker, Slark, who are trying to push out and split push these lanes, but even with Tinker dead, TnC.
Oh, dog fights. He's hooked one.
He's on his own though.
He has to dismember, but with the Golem being dropped beautifully onto two, he will almost certainly go down Pudge. But they've found one. No, they've not. Though Cuckoo's just still dead at the moment. They have not actually managed to take down any of TnC. Finally, Tims is to drop. But Ravens on the back line cleans up a second. At the end of it all, can Paparazzi get anything more out of this? So Sam H quick with the blink. He's out there, back to safety.
Raven may come back in. He's fully healed up thanks to the Shadow Dance.
Yeah, this is very good for TnC. And look to Cicada. Cicada gets the Tornado out. Can he get his way out of this one? Well, no, with a vacuum and the Sentry Ward down on the ground. Ghost Ward, is he going to save him? Who stomped? Double Edge coming through in July. He'll take down one with the Mex pop by Sam H. Raven, can he find Paparazzi? Raven and Rio trying to survive. Paparazzi does get Rio. Dogfights comes back in as he got the control to deal with Raven, trying to close the gap. Has Dismember, holds the Slark in place. The damage is low with the hook. It's not quite enough though. Raven's back out and he wants to go back in. Jumps in onto the Weaver, who's been silenced by Tims.
Another hook in 2 seconds.
Dogfights, can he do it? It's all about the hook. Oh no. He didn't quite get it at the end of it.
Oh, that sentry battle in mid became so important. The Dire side had the superior sentry advantage at the start, and that just meant the Weaver was taking a lot more damage. The Slark was able to go invis at the end of that Pudge hook in and actually survive thanks to not having a Radiant sentry there. And Raven, 17 Essence Shift procs, 51 stolen Agi. He stayed alive that entire fight.
Great fight for him.
The initial Shadow Dance, he got, I think, 2 kills off of. He got very low, like 200 HP. He healed up in Fog, came back in with full HP and the Essence Shift, and just wreaked havoc. Definitely kind of feeling the downsides of the Lincolns there in that fight. It does give him a bit of extra stats, some regen, but the spell block not all too effective and did not help so much against the Earth Spirit or the Slark in that scenario.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as he gets silenced, in a lot of trouble, Paparazzi, in these fights. Oh, IGV. Let's see what the plan is next. Obviously, Super just trying to look towards that Midas, but he's a fair while away from it. TnC keeping that farm going. Cuckoo climbing his way back up the board. It's still the Invoker very much at the top. Raven close behind on the Slark.
Yeah, Cuckoo's kind of fallen off quite a bit since his good early game start. A few deaths here and there, and looks like TnC will find a ward. Yep.
Interesting from Paparazzi. He's going for the Diffusal Blade after the Lincolns.
Okay.
I mean,
purge off Iron Shells.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, not.
I mean,
I see it every now and then on Weaver. It seems like they just like it as a chasing item, being able to constantly slow heroes down. You can use a Diffusal charge on the Slark after his Dark Pact just to really purge him. Like, he's trying to Dark Pact, and that gets rid of every slow, so you can just instantly Diffusal after a Dark Pact, and it kind of cripples him. But it's just kind of like a stat-heavy item, good agi, good attack speed, gets a bit of damage, some armor, but it's not like a high-impact, explosive damage item like a Desolator.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it obviously used to be so much better when you could defuse yourself. You know,
Yeah. No longer able to get rid of that silence.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like if you're gonna go for an offensive item, go for a real offensive
Like
item
a
like a
Deso.
Deso. Yeah. Otherwise, you go for the defensive option, the BKB or the Manta against the silencers. But going for 2 defensive items like Lincoln's into BKB or Manta seems too defensive. Just that.
For sure, yeah. He needed something offensive.
But after this defusal, looks like he's going to queue up the Maelstrom, so another kind of DPS item coming into the fray. A lot of attention around this Roche pit now.
We've got the Chaotic offering back and available, super.
Quick and easy D-Ward. This Vision battle is such a hard one for IGV to win because of the Slark. Any Observer Wards are constantly being scouted out and dealt with. It's the Sentry investment where both supports are really suffering. Dazzle and Warlock very poor because of the sheer volume of sentries they have to keep on buying this game.
Actual smoke up from IGV as well. They want to try and fight before Roche.
Yep.
Can Dogfights or Injury get the initiation? That's the question. TP actually coming into the shrine here from TnC.
Tinkai dodges it.
Oh, hook as well. Not going to catch him. TnC, can they fight here? That's the
Can't
question.
get the hook stomp.
Angela is unable to find Kuka. They do find the courier. Tims rolls across. There's the vacuum wall. Onto 2. Silence. Onto Dogfights. They'll drop down the weave. Angela comes in with a Hoostomp double edge. They've taken down the Dazzle. Can they get themselves anything more? Tornado comes through. Onto 2. Cancelling the TP of Cuckoo. They've lost the Purge. They've now lost the Centaur as well. Paparazzi turning towards the Slug. They found Raven. Big kills there for IGV. And for Paparazzi himself on the Weaver, picking up the double.
Killing Raven working out well, and you can see there just using those defusal charges offensively. Chews through 2 of them very quickly, but gets some good damage to Kata in mid. It's going to be careful. Cuckoo, Blink dodges the swarm.
Oh, the Ghost walk out just in time. They don't have the vision, so the rocket isn't going to connect onto the Invoker. They'll turn, look towards Cuckoo. Vacuum comes through from Sam H and Tims. They're trying to find
these Blink in 1 second.
They'll get
He's
Super
out.
and Cuckoo, he's out. He manages to survive just by the skin of his teeth.
Ooh.
And TnC did find that little bit of a bonus Warlock kill off the back of that play.
That's a classic SCA Dota play there. Let's blink into 3 heroes to try and get this kill. Something these SCA players are kind of known for. Very high mechanical skill, and they're always opting to go for the aggressive play when possible. And Cuckoo gets away with it there. He kind of got baited in with the Ghost Walk from Sakata, but luckily for him, his teammates were there to bail him out. They were thinking just as he was, let's go aggressive, let's keep diving, and Sam H with a nice vacuum to bail him out. Still a kind of even-ish fight in the end, slightly favoring the Chinese squad with the Slark kill there. They're just able to control him pretty nicely, and it does feel like Slark needs that next one big item before he's quite ready to go for another fight.
Yeah, we're going to see some big items on others
Walks into the
very,
punch
very
in mid.
shortly, but yeah, mid lane dogfights. Being gone on here by Raven. Jump forward from Cuckoo, not quite enough damage. Dogfight survives, in fact. Oh, in July, coming in with the 2-man Hoostomp. Is the follow-up there, though? That's the question. It's got to pulse the BKB, definitely blast. Isn't going to clip onto anyone. To chase down TnC, they want to go to the high ground. It's fighting around the shrine, could be dangerous. Looking for Rio.
They may turn this one. They know there's no rock. Oh, he hits the Sunstrike.
Oh, Sakata. He has done one, and in fact, they may go for more. In July, coming in with a Hoostomp. The Dark Power's there, down with the vacuum wall. Tim's coming in looking for the combo. Have they got the damage to Cuckoo? In the middle of it all, gets dismembered, but they kill the Pudge. Cuckoo is able to walk it off. It was a flashy combo, but only the Pudge going down at the end of that.
Cuckoo just always seems to be in the middle of 3 heroes and getting out of there alive. I don't know how he does it, but definitely big credit to his team for that. Raven playing, I like what Raven's doing. He goes in aggressive, D-wards a sentry knowing that they won't have any detection for him after it, and also preemptively dark packs for the initiation. So he's a great setup for that fight. He sets up the dark seer perfectly for that vacuum, but a great tornado from Sakata. If not for that tornado counter initiation, that would have been all over for the IGV squad there in the mid lane. And they managed to kind of hold their own with Warlock's Rock on cooldown. That was why TnC really wanted to fight them around that area. They knew there was no chaotic offering. They had a small little window where if they win a fight, they can secure a Roshan and get a big advantage out of that. But they don't get the kills they were looking for, and as a result, things reset, and IGV go back to having that teamfight edge now that the Warlock Rock is back up.
Raven does have the Skadi complete.
Cuckoo, are you sure about this? Okay.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's chilling. Dogfights trying for a hook into the tree line, but Cuckoo keeping himself to the lane is fine.
Yeah.
Has the Axe complete as one on the Tinker.
could really see how tanky the Pudge was too at the start of that fight when he got initiated. And he won't be tanky against a DD rune though.
Absolutely not. DD, and now 13 tasty stacks of Essence Shift on him.
Can they kill Roche fast enough?
IGV are heading, sorry,
Pretty
TnC
close.
heading over.
They're
Can they
sunstriking
contest?
and everything.
Ooh, Boulder Smash comes in just a second too
They've
late.
still got DD though.
Yeah, Raven wants to fight. We'll look for Cicada. BKB's pop. Shadow Dance from Raven so he can keep on punching into the Invoker, but the Stampede allows Cicada to get away. Turns around the Chaos Meteor. In July comes in with a Who Stomp. Controlling them in place, but not quite enough damage. Deafening Blast onto Cuckoo. IGV, they found the Tinker, but they've lost the Centaur. Raven, Sam H, and Tim's rolling
they've got
away.
Weaver.
They silence of the Weaver. They'll take down Paparazzi. Rio survives as Raven finishes off the Golem before it gets to the Dazzle.
Oh.
Paparazzi falling at the end of that one. It's
Yeah.
a big kill for TnC.
Got caught by a silence and then just controlled nicely. He wanted to go for that Dazzle kill, but Dazzle played that fight so well. I was watching Rio a lot that fight. He held onto his grave to the very end, helped clear out the bugs on himself and his teammates. He baits in the Weaver, Graves at the very last second, even dodges the Sunstrike in the end. Every little thing done right by the support, and the end result is Aegis still up on Cicada, but killing the Weaver and Centaur, the bigger prizes.
Raven wants to make a go. Some pings coming out. Raven, he's got to be careful. Dogfights is there. If he can land the hook, oh no.
Wants to use all this essence shift that he's got to keep fighting.
Well, jump forward here from Tims, gets the boulder smash, rocket flying through to the face of Invoker, the vacuum there, on to 3, bringing them in, and Cicada low. Pops the BKB on the sideline, Cuckoo just thrown in the march. They'll burst down the Invoker once, that's the Aegis pop. Dogfight's falling low as well. Cuckoo picks up a double kill, there's 4 dead at the moment on IGV. Cicada, he's going down for a second time, they have the detection. They'll find the Invoker. TnC hitting hard there with the team fight, wiping IGV.
Fighting around the Warlock Golem being on cooldown, and on top of that, the Weaver being dead. It felt like a very aggressive position for IGV to be in. And the other big thing is Slark already had a lot of Essence Shift. He had like 17 Essence Shift. Now he's at 28 following that
He
fight.
wants to keep going and going, Raven here.
Yeah, I mean, Raven just was scouting out alone. Like, he didn't really have any support when the fight began, but he knew, like, if I find some heroes and my teammates can come in and back me up, and with Blink Daggers, Tinker Boots of Travel, he sure as hell can, this fight's going to go well.
Yeah.
He's got the Essence Shift to back it up.
They force out the buyback here from Invoker. And TnC, looks like they may just be happy with that alone, of course. Just starting to shut down a little bit of the value, the net worth build-up of this Invoker that's been pretty much sitting at the top of the net worth for most of the game.
Now the gem comes into play. This is a fantastic item to have on a Slark. It means you can instantly know where sentries are, and you can kill them with your Iron Talon. So denying that vision, and you get more value out of your Shadow Blade. He immediately scouts the sentry and will probably come in and eat it. Yep, that's exactly what the gem's there for, but it's bottom lane. Cuckoo getting caught.
They use the Stampede to set up, get in position. Paparazzi, offering a fair bit of punch with the Maelstrom, upgraded Diffusal at this stage. And looking towards the Skadi next as well, so starting to stat up and making sure that he can't be bursted down that easily by the side of TnC, even with the Tinker getting his hands on.
Yeah, the kill bomb on the Tinker much goes back to that Lincoln pickup. You can't laser and TP out because of the Lincolns, but still feel like this Weaver needs a way out of that Earth Spirit silence. That's what he dies to. That's what got him in that last fight when he got picked off. He's died 3 times this game. He's 9-3-5, done very well, but I feel like you could not die at all if you have a way out of silence.
He goes for a hook here, but there's a lot of members. They do get a nice 3-man chaotic offering. Boulder Smash onto the Pudge. They want to fight here, IGV. Cicada's come across, pots the PKB Tornado coming through. Clips the Earth Spirit. Meteor as well with a Who Stomp to control him. They'll take down the Tims. They'll find Sam H on the sidelines as the Weaver chases him down. Ooh, IGV putting a stop there to the push. And very nicely done as well. You saw that, Dogfight's getting that hook. TnC were like, all right, we'll fight, but they didn't expect that. Quick reaction again from Super with some fantastic chaotic offerings this fight.
Yeah, he's been really good on the Warlock, finding the openings to get good chaotic offerings, but what hasn't been so good from IGV is how they played around the cooldown, like when they're being as aggressive as they have been.
Pudge is always a nice, tasty
he's got
free
no TP
kill.
too.
Lots of Essence Shift stacks to pick up as well. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Keep punching. Yeah, that's right.
Try and dismember me, he says.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful stats.
Oh, you're enjoying that as a Slark picker. I can hear it.
Dude, Pudge is the dream, you know what I mean? That is just a massive stat wall to chomp on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this Pudge is, I think, largely picked to be very tanky. When they see the Darkseer, Earth Spirit, and the Tinker, they're like, ooh, Pudge is a full position support who can survive against that. He gets extra HP from the Flesh Heap. He goes into the Hood build. He gets super tanky. He can get a Blade Mail next. He's great against those 3 heroes. Not so great against the Slark. And that's 20 Essence Shift. Not sure how much Raven can play around it.
Shadow Dance's down in 15. He could try and go for another potential pick-off if he wants to go aggressive.
I mean, you get a good 2-minute duration on that Essence Shift, so yeah, why not try and look to build something around it.
It's going to be a little harder now, of course, though, with the Ag Centaur. Trying to find those pick-offs, always in July. It's going to be there, providing that safety for the
The
team.
tankier they are, the Owen, the more Essence Shift you take.
It's true. He's going to be building up those Essence Shifts for days. Top lane trying to finish off this tier 2. Dogfights comes in. Won't hit the hook. Tim's on the sidelines, though, looking for a good angle. Sam H in with a vacuum, but immediately the BKB comes out from Cicada. Upon the Stampede as well, IGV trying to get to position to catch out TnC. Rio's low, Graves himself gets killed post-grave. That'll be one down. Paparazzi searching for more time lapses. He's getting a little too low in the midst of this fight. A lot of Marcher machines coming through for Cuckoo. Paparazzi turns towards Raven. Raven pops the Shadow Dance. Paparazzi duking down at the moment, pops the BKB. Turns back towards Raven. He's packing a fair bit of a punch here with his Maelstrom, and he still continues to chase up. Has to be careful now with the BKB gone. Raven looks towards in July, will manage to catch the Centaur with the pounds. Takes one down.
I mean,
Now
Weaver's
chasing for more
fighting
Tims.
well.
Tims is going straight. Oh, that boulder smash. He's found the Invoker, the Silence as well. They don't have any further lockdown. He will get back. Dogfights can't quite get the hook.
Paparazzi's getting kited. He doesn't have the detection for the Slark. He purged off the Surge. Slark was going to be in a bit of problem there, but then he had another Shadow Blade up and just invises himself away. This detection advantage, thanks to the Slark finding all the wards, having the gem, taking out all these sentries, has proven to be very difficult for IGV. The problem is they can't chase. And with a hero like Weaver, you always want to chase for kills and play by yourself, but you don't have the detection to do that with, and that's proving to be a bigger and bigger problem as this game goes on. And a very well-played fight by Slark. He just kept on baiting spells on the front line. He's such a good frontline tank as well as damage dealer because of all the stats he's got, and as well as having that gem and invis advantage over his opponents.
Yeah, talking about the Slark now, Raven with that completed butterfly. MKB not going to be anywhere soon. It's actually going to be, by the looks of it, the Bloodthorn option that Paparazzi will potentially eventually look forward to, as he's got the All Kick queued up at the moment. But he's a long way away from it.
Once it has a solution to the butterfly evasion and also, well, Slark being a Slark, we want to have that silence. Slark can respond to this by going into a BKB or a Manta style, most likely a BKB, which I feel like is ideally the item you replace your Echo Saber with. So we'll see what Slark can do. He's got an Arcane Room, which is fantastic for that short 36-second cooldown on Shadow Dance. This is a great time to fight.
Even just for like the short ones like Dart Pact, consistently being able to Dart Pact. Arcane Rune, fantastic for Raven if he can find a fight with it. And they are indeed going to look to try and set up onto the Invoker, bringing him back. They'll look for him first, but the hook from Dogfights and the Stampede from In July will allow Cicada to get himself out to safety. In fact, he turns, tries to fight on the Darkseer. Raven pounces away from the Chaotic Offering, pops the Shadow Dance as well, turns towards Paparazzi. Paparazzi with the BKB up and the time lapse out, he's fine. No one's a fall as of yet. Dogfights though with the hook, does manage to catch out the Darkseer. That's going to be Sam H hitting the ground. Down for 70. Dogfights, can he get anything more? Well, Raven, coming back in, looks towards the Pudge.
Blade Mail hurts though.
He's building up those stacks. Tims comes in with a boulder smash, the Silence and the Rockets from Cuckoo. They'll take down Dogfights.
The Essence Shift is starting to add up. You do not want to keep fighting if you're IGV.
Can
A
Raven
full
get
HP
anything?
Slark.
He's got Shadow Dance up. He can dive. He can go
he's
super
gone
aggressive. In July, that'll be an easy one for him as he comes through. Cuckoo to kill secure with a laser. 23 stacks. It's time to start hitting those buildings. What can IGV do to stop him? Raven's pretty damn massive at this stage. It's 2 members down on IGV. TnC don't have Darkseer for this push.
They'd love to get a tier 3 tower since it opens up those shrines, and taking the shrines makes killing Roche a whole lot easier, but doesn't look like they want to risk any kind of a high ground play with the Slark. They'll try and use his Essence Shift to regroup, perhaps with the Darkseer respawn, make another go at IGV. And Raven's just played so well this entire series. He's Weaver in game 1, 19-1. This game he's 12-2 on Slark. He's been very impressive on the carry role.
Cuckoo just consistently pressuring these side lanes, making sure that TnC keep good control of the map. Roshan is back up. We'll see what Raven's plan is next. Is he going to go on the hunt again? He has got the backup. Sam H. Tops him up with the Iron Shell. Greaves as well. What can he find here, Raven? Well, the vision is out. And he knows.
Doesn't have good teammates to kill it with, so we'll back off for now. Maybe clear it out later. Setting up for Roshan seems to be the name of the game. Tims is on the high ground cliff. Hard position to find him, unless you're chucking a ward up when you go to contest Roshan. IGV has smoked, heading not towards Roshan immediately. The Sunstrike will scout.
They don't have Chaotic Offering for I think about 15 seconds.
Ooh.
If they had that, that could be a massive. And they will still try and go in, looking for the stomp onto Raven. Raven immediately shadowed as BKB out from Paparazzi and Cicada. They'll look towards Sam H. Deafening Blast comes through, but the Graves there in time from Rio, saving Sam H. He looks to TP out. Is he going to make it? The Yules is there, cancelling the TP, but he does go down. They'll kill the Darkseer. IGV, Paparazzi, slow, so low. Time lapse just in time to keep himself alive.
Oh, he dies before he can try.
Oh, he
Tinker.
tinked out at the end of the day. Yeah, Tinker. Getting the final burst through, but Cuckoo,
he's out.
They kill him?
Is he?
They've got no way to cancel it. The Graven TP out. Cuckoo's fine. Finally, the Chaotic Offerings available comes through. Disarm onto Raven, but he pounces down in time. Oh no! Dogfight!
Cuckoo's back!
Oh, and Cuckoo just in the midst of it all, comboing them down. IGV melting, getting absolutely destroyed there. Raven just weaving in and out of the fights on that Slark. Cuckoo just sitting in the midst of them all.
Cuckoo comes up big. That Weaver was just about to reach the shrine, heal up after surviving the Magnetize, and Cuckoo blinked
Look
into
at the damage he's done.
He blinked into 4 heroes again. I just feel like every time I look at this Tinker, he's blinking in aggressively. I'm thinking in my head, like, I don't think that's how Tinker plays team fights, but no, Cuckoo.
He did like 13,000 damage in that one team fight on the Tinker.
Just watching him get these 4-man lasers into 4-man heat-seeking missiles. The Shivers damage as well was absurd. He just destroyed them. That was so well played by Cuckoo. That fight was starting to go very south for TnC.
Yeah,
the Slark was getting kited. Pudge hook at the end was just like, it's so depressing for Dogfights. He's had such a good game on the Pudge as well, but the end result is IGV are going to have their back against the wall, fighting into Aegis and Cheese now. Or just Aegis, second Roshan, so no Cheese just yet.
IGV have really got their work cut out. Oh, Dogfights. He's going to be a goner surely. Here comes the Cuckoo.
Slark's like, give me some essence shift. Don't kill him too fast.
There we go, perfect.
Leave him to me.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Cuckoo, you could get like 2 essence shifts, and he's like, nah, I want to KS this one. Get a stat pad.
TnC now. Not a lot that's going to be holding them back from wanting to go high ground. No push for 40 seconds. Man up. Ready to go. IGV, how can they stop this? They need some fantastic kind of combinations from the Invoker coming through. Tries for a tornado, but Raven's already out to the side with the pounce.
Tims is ready. He's just waiting for the call from Sam H. If you get a blink vacuum into Boulder Smash, that's going to be game over right there. It's just going to come down to Sam H finding the opening to get that good blink vacuum. For IGV, they're looking to counter initiate.
Oh, and there it is. He's caught. 2 immediate reaction though from Cicada. Paparazzi will get the chance to time lapse. Turns their attention towards Cuckoo. Graved up Cuckoo. Can he get himself out of there? That's the question. Both the Shivas has to kill himself. Cuckoo's out. They managed to get the Tinker around. That's a great start for IGV if they can get anything more. Dogfight's unable to find the hook. Jump forward from in July. Does he get the who stop in time? Because the blink out from Tims is there. Turns back around with the Boulder Smash, and they'll take down the Centaur. Hook. No, he's only going to get a creep. Dogfight's can't quite find the opening. Raven is very, very low on mana. He's out of it entirely. Does still have the Aegis though, of course, and the backup.
May go back for the Shrines now instead, and it looks like that's going to be the call from Raven. Walks past the Shrine, doesn't actually kill it right away. He finds a DD rune. And he's going to Shrine up himself, so he wants to get that mana back and then re-engage. He's got 22 Essence Shift. Good time to fight if he can find anything, and we'll see what TnC can look to make happen off of this. The fact they don't reveal themselves killing that shrine is like a bit of a question mark. If you're IGV, you're like, wait a second, they just backed off. Why aren't they killing our shrines here? So I feel like this smoke is somewhat obvious just because of that. If this was the old patch, it'd be like, all right, maybe they backed off to farm. But if you're farming, you're killing shrines. Like, there's no reason not to ignore that shrine there. So IGV should be ready for this move.
Raven. Super would be a great way to start it off. You know, he has Chaotic Offering available. He isn't going to be able to drop it. Out for 50 seconds. TnC starting off the fight with a crucial pickoff. And opening up this middle racks for the siege to begin.
The DD, this racks will fall fairly fast. Nice sidestep.
Oh. Raven just sidestepping everything at the moment. Cuckoo from the low ground hammering in the homing missiles. There's the vacuum wall onto 2. Injulight coming in with a Who Stop. They do get out the AoE deafening blast here, knocking back TnC. Just able to get out the Darkseer on the side of it, but they bring down Tims. They'll find one. Raven finishes off the melee racks. Sunstrike, is he going to catch onto Sam H? He's out. Raven wants to go back in. Looks towards Injuli. Laser coming through once more from Cuckoo. Injuli's out and down. Bounce forward. They're looking for Cicada, getting as much as they can out of this TnC. Raven calls out up, but with the Dart Pact, he's fine. Paparazzi, though, does come through with a crucial Orchid, and they will get the kill. They're bringing down once, popping that Aegis. Sunstrike, again, Sam H sidestepping it back down. Chaotic Offering is dropped. TnC now on the retreat. Being careful about how they go about this one. Still a little lacking on the damage that IGV can offer to finish any of these kills off.
And this Slark is just running all over them. Keeps on stacking up the Essence Shift. He's gone for the extra Pounce leash, so he's got 6.5 seconds of Pounce lockdown. They're not properly disabled. They can BKB out of it as well, but if they're stuck in that Pounce, you're just right-clicking away, wailing away, building up those stats, and it's exactly what Raven's been able to do in these last couple of fights.
And Abyssal Blade complete on him as well. So all the lockdown and control from that Slark. 35 to 28. IGV. It looked to be a better game for them than game 1 was earlier on, but now, once again, TnC just getting to the point where their cores are sailing ahead. 29k net worth on Cuckoo's Tinker in comparison to the 21 of Cicada's Invoker.
It's even the rest, like the supporting cast. The Darkseer's got 16k net worth. The Earth Spirit's got 10k himself, has queued up an Ag Scepter. Is level 22, so we're looking at like these supports even theoretically hitting level 25, getting some of their big talents on the Dire side. Both Darkseer and Earth Spirit only 3 levels away from that if this game drags out. And I say if because with a Rax advantage, we may see TnC look to close things out with another key pickoff or 2 from this Slark. Has reset his Essence Shift, so he's back to 0, which means that we'll have to start afresh.
TnC prepping to go once more on this bottom. IGV, they do have everything bar the Chaotic Offering. Well, how long's left on the Chaotic Offering? Is it going to be up in time?
It's 50 seconds.
50 seconds still. So won't be there ready for this defense of TnC coming hard.
Yeah, and that's been a big important tool for them. As soon as that Darkseer goes in with a vacuum, that rock needs to be thrown on top of the initiation of the Earth. Like the Earth Spirit's typically following it up with a Blink Boulder Smash, so if you can throw the rock right away and be fast on it, you may actually stop the Earth Spirit getting a stun or a silence off. But Weaver at least has a BKB, so he's not dying to that silence anymore as he was in the past.
What can IGV do to stop this? In July, pops the Stampede very early. They try to find a hook. They don't get it.
They thought they had the hook out of Tornado there. They just mistimed it. That's
Stampede now down for 50 seconds. They won't have that defensive capability of TnC jump in.
That's a big deal if a fight does break out right now. Not that TnC necessarily want to force it again. They're very methodical about these high ground pushes. Definitely not always the forte of some of these SEA teams.
Oh, there's the hook. And Miji's the blood form, but the Dark Power was already there. Back in wall onto 2. Scala puts the BKB in July. Looking to control up Sam H. They will surround the Darkseer. And with the Chaotic Offering drops as well, they look to take him down. The Graves there just in time. From the Dazzler. Oh, he's out. He manages to TP away. Sam H survives. And TnC. They keep everyone alive there. Even though that Darkseer was surrounded by 3 of them. But the Grave from Rio.
And Pudge had no mana too. He couldn't get a hook off. That's got to be a bit depressing for IGV. They're like, how do we not even get a kill out of that? And back comes Raven. Still no Essence Shift, but he has managed to take a tier 3 tower.
Dodges the Tornado, mate. May just go jump in on a hero if they come too close.
Stampede is now back up, but there is no Warlock offering. Perhaps at least as big of an ultimate to try and fight around.
It's getting harder and harder for IGV to hold. They need a good hook. They need some sort of way to kick this off with a kill. July tries to jump with the Who Stomp, doesn't find it. Vacuum onto 2 again. Scutter pots the BKB. Turns towards Raven. Definitely blast as well, knocking him back, but the Greaves is out for Sam. And they're topped up back to full. TnC ready to go in once more. Ice Wall drop from Zacade. Starts to back off. But this is just allowing Raven the damage and space to get in onto the racks. The MP's dropped down.
They're trying to get him off the racks. They've got no Invoker combo for a little
Cuckoo
bit.
from the sideline, hexing up one. Raven jumps in, finishes off Paparazzi. There's the vacuum onto 3. Cuckoo consistently just offering up the lasers as he jumps into the midst of them all. And GG is called. It's all too much for IGV. TnC taking the series 2-0 with some incredibly convincing coordination.
Yeah, they play those fights so well. I love seeing the sheer aggression coming out from these guys. They often, both in game 1 and this game, like someone will get picked off, they're 4v5, and they're like, all right, let's back up a little bit, but find a good position, and then they like go right back in 4v5. Take these calculated fights around Sam H and Tims. The combo and the synergy between these two players is very impressive.
Really, really is. Letting Tims get his Earth Spirit twice. Maybe a bit of a mistake, but more so I think coming away from this, teams are definitely going to be respecting what Cuckoo can do with that Tinker. Incredible play. I mean, I'm interested to see the damage stats on how much he actually did, but that number's got to be through the roof. But ladies and gentlemen, we should be able to head over to the stage to hear what Slacks and TnC have to say.
Hello! How's it going, guys?
这位是我们非常专业的中英文双语可以进行 Dota 2评论以及翻译工作的 Jack。
Hi.